Hello, my lovelies. This is question 6 of Mrs. Baker's Monster Paper, Chapter 12, Paper 4. So, cobalt is a transition element. Potassium is a group 1 of the periodic table. So again, we're comparing the group 1s and the transition elements. You can see a common theme beginning to develop. State one physical property that is similar for cobalt and potassium. So there's lots you can choose from. All metals are sonorous, they are shiny, they conduct electricity, they are good conductors. So there's all of those things, all of those physical properties that they share. State one physical property that is different for cobalt and potassium. So you could have anything from melting and boiling point, you could have, because we know that cobalt will have a much higher melting point, we know that their hardness, in other words, how easy they are to cut with a knife. Group 1s you can cut really easily, they're soft, and the transition metals are hard. Also, the hardness we could describe as strength or toughness. Also, we know that density is different. We know that the transition metals are very dense, they sink in water, but the top 3 group 1s are so light that they float on water. Describe how the physical property given in B1 is different for cobalt compared to potassium. So, whatever you've chosen up here needs to be explained down below. So you need to say something like, describe how the physical property is different. So you would need to say, if we chose melting and boiling point here, we would say the melting point is higher in cobalt. The melting point is higher in cobalt. Now, the reason why we need to we need to name the actual thing that is higher. We can't just say the melting point is higher and get the mark, because is the melting point higher in cobalt or potassium? So if you just put the melting point is higher, be tough with yourself and don't give you the mark. You must say the melting point is higher in cobalt, or you could have said the melting point is lower in potassium. Same with hardness. You would have to say cobalt is harder than potassium, or cobalt is more dense than potassium. You must clarify what you're talking, which one you're talking about. When a small piece of potassium is added to cold water, the potassium floats and disappears as it reacts. Oh, I don't like that, Cambridge. That should be dissolves. I'm taking issue with your question. Give 2 other observations that would be made when a small piece of potassium is added to cold water. So you could, the most obvious one is that potassium burns with a lilac flame or a purple flame. You could also have that it melts, or you could have it moves. You could have, what else could you have? That it fizzes, or you could have bubbles form, or you could say, if you wanted to be really sciencey, it effervesces. Got to learn how to spell it. Effervesces. Not V. Effervesces. 2 Fs. That's it for question 6, I do believe. Yes. Hope it was helpful.